Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adero Robinson, and I proudly serve as the Executive Director with City Year Columbus. And I'd like to thank you for turning in to this episode of Red Jacket Roundtable with City Year. And so each episode that we have will feature local community members, spotlighting community and civic issues with a focus on diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. This podcast will also explore the intersectional challenges that impact students in our partner schools and with all the different work that other organizations are doing in the community. So our most previous episode, we featured one of our AmeriCorps members, Natalie Cosgray, who's currently serving as a team leader at South High School. So if you get a chance, go back and check out that episode. You can find it on our Facebook page or on YouTube, Spotify, and Buzzsprout. But I'm really excited today because we have a really cool discussion with leaders of the Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Service Organization, or ETSS, if I pronounced that correctly. And so the mission of ETSS is to be the focal point of integration for immigrants, refugee families, and low-income individuals in Central Ohio in order to improve the equality of their lives, facilitate the integration through education, training, supportive services, and self-development opportunities, and to increase the awareness of their culture, and heritage in Central Ohio. So our two guests today are leaders of ETSS, and I'd like to introduce Dr. Seleshi Asfaw, who is the Executive Director, the President and CEO of ETSS, and Amanuel Merdassa, did I say that correctly? Amanuel Merdassa, who is Director of Youth Programs with ETSS. So welcome, thank you for joining us on this episode of Red Jacket Roundtable.
Thank you, Adero. Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited about this conversation because I know a lot about your organization. I've been involved with the organization in the past, and this is an opportunity for many folks that we interact with to learn more about what you do and the individuals that you serve. So to get us started, I really, just give us a little bit of background about yourselves and how you got to be involved with this organization.
All right, Manuel, you want me to go ahead? You are muted. Thank you, Adero. Thank you really for this opportunity. We are partnering and working together. We know each other. We know City Year Columbus for so many areas, and because what I like Columbus is partnership, collaboration. So I have been with the organization since the very beginning. I'm the founding member and president and CEO for ETSS, Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services. I'm from Ethiopia. My background is a medical doctor in the health profession and master's in public health. So I came here in Columbus 24 years ago because of the political reason in my country. I was pushed and left my country with my family. So since I came, I just came to Columbus because of family. One of my family here living in Columbus. So I came here and I see the challenge that Ethiopian diaspora was struggling, and especially on the youth. When they came as a refugee immigrants, I just saw them to neighborhoods that are not really the school system, the education, health, and everything was down, and safety. So these children was really exposed because of peer pressure and others, with some really outside of our culture, and those were affected with drugs and others. So I was very, very sad in the community leaders' approach that to do something about these youngsters. So that's what, they really pushes me and the community leaders to start the organization. So that's my background, and the rest we'll talk maybe. Maybe I'll give that for Amanuel.
Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's really, I know City Year for a long time prior to the work we're doing, and you and your organizations are doing really great job in helping our students in the schoolhouse who are And to speak about myself, I'm also originally from Ethiopia. I moved to United States about 25 years ago now, and moved because of same reason, political situation back home. And prior to moving to United States, I attended 4 years college and had my bachelor degree in majoring in physics and minoring in maths, and taught in a high school for about 10 years. And I also been a curriculum developer and textbook editors during that period as well. So bringing that experience to United States, I did not continue with the teaching profession. Instead, I studied computer programming, have my associate degree in that, and work in IT field for a short time before I joined ETSS in year 2008.
Okay, great. Yeah, thanks for sharing that information about, your background and how you came to Central Ohio. I'm curious, the name Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services, that the name Tewahedo, what does that mean? I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, that's really a good question, because Tewahedo is the center in front for our organization name. This is one of the ancient African language, which means all humanity is one. Or coming together as one. It's just called cooperation, collaboration. It has a deep meaning and philosophy because there are so many cultural proverbs in different parts of the world, which really we want the American community to learn and to know. That's what purposely we put that Tewahedo, because rather than the common term is unity and collaboration, cooperation, is better to bring a different how the ancient people use strong words for unity, and especially in our philosophy that we believe that all humanity is one, and this oneness creates a responsibility for all of us to support each other, to care each other, to work together. So because it supports our philosophy, we love the Tewahedo to be center in front for our organization. That's why we really want Central Ohio community to learn. And it's really reflects what Central Ohio are very welcoming, and cooperation, unity, one way of Columbus way. So it fits the Central Ohio's team. So we love that to be there in our name.
Okay. Now, you both talked a little bit about your journey from Ethiopia here to the United States. And I'm curious about the other families that you serve that come from Ethiopia. What are some of the reasons why they come to Central Ohio? What about Central Ohio draws a lot of individuals and families from Ethiopia?
I think one of the main reasons why people came to Central Ohio, or in general to the United States, is mainly one is a political reason, because of crisis, as you've seen in Ukraine, as you've seen in Afghanistan, as you've seen in Ethiopia, and all over the world. It is because of man-made war and crisis. And then second is natural disasters. Because of disasters, people displaced from their natural home and places, and they leave their country. And then third is looking for an opportunity. People looking a better job, people looking a better economy and life and education. So they try to get means of coming to the United States. And there are some, become like a family union to rejoin their families coming to United States or Europe or Canada. And but for our reason, as I told you myself and Amanuel, because of the political turmoil and because of the division, different political special situations that wherever you speak the truth, no one is really like the truth. So either they will push you out, or they will put you in prison, or they will kill you. So it's a matter of survival. There's a lot of storing behind for each refugee and asylum case. Most of us, we were pushed. We don't want really to leave our country. We have a good job. We have a good profession. We have established family and extended family. And it was our prime time really to serve our community where we came from. But it's unfortunate we left. And then, for example, my reason I came to Central Ohio, I don't know about Central Ohio, but because I have a family, when I came here, they sponsored us. So I have to come. But the majority of the people, why they choose Central Ohio is very interesting. Number one is, as you know, I hope you know very well that Central Ohio is becoming the hub of a lot of businesses because 60% of both the US and Canada population live within 600 miles of Columbus. This allows 90% of products distribution to reach these people within 2 days. So a lot of businesses, e-commerces like Amazon and others came nowadays to Central Ohio. Central Ohio is attracting because of this access of the larger community of United States or Canada is really within 2 days they can reach us. So you can see now from time to time, Central Ohio is growing and attracting many distribution centers in Central Ohio, and the job market is really paying about 3.5% more than the national average. So one is really driving the economy and the job opportunity. Second is Ohio in general, and the cities and the counties in particular are very welcoming. You see that, the governor of Ohio, and during Governor Kasich, he created the Office of Opportunity for New Americans. And the city of Columbus, the Mayor Coleman, put together the New Americans Initiative as in the office under the mayor's office. The county commissioners are very, very welcoming. They created the New American Advisory Council. So, our cities, Reynoldsburg elected for the first time the first Nepali council member, and Whitehall, the mayors, very, very cooperative, very, very welcoming. So it looks like, the Central Ohio region is really very welcoming for refugees. Refugees like that safety, that welcomeness. And the third part is really because of they want to reunite with their family, with their communities. There's the first largest Bhutanese Nepali community outside their country is here in Columbus. The second largest Somali community is in here in Columbus. And there are, we serve communities from East Africa like Somalians, Ethiopians, Eritreans, Sudanese, Kenyans, Central Africa like Congolese community, West Africa, Middle Easterns, Iraqis and Syrians, Southeast Asia like Burmese and Bhutanese Nepali communities. We serve from South America and Central America and Mexico, a lot of Guatemala and others and Mexicans that we are serving. So it's really, ETSS, we are now serving more than 60 countries around the world. So that's the reason why people come to Central Ohio is one is the job market, second is housing, third is the education system. Columbus is, of course, one of the largest big city, and that they created this global academy for specialized for refugee immigrants. The healthcare system, one of the best is like the James Cancer Institute, the Nationwide Children's Hospital, the health centers. The health system is really good, and adult education centers everywhere. The social services network is excellent, like the City Year Columbus, ETSS, Refugee Immigrant Serving Organizations. There are about 8,000, I think, health and human service organizations in Franklin County, and about 15,000 in Central Ohio. So you can see the social network is so intensive, extensive, and in welcoming refugees, immigrants. The faith-based and community-based communities are also welcoming. So I think the infrastructure, social system, education, health, the government, all these and the foundations, individuals, are really attractive. And I remember 1997 when I came here, 98, 90, you can drive from downtown, from East Main or Broad Street without any traffic at that time. Right now, if from downtown to come here, I have to stay until 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. in my downtown office, because the traffic is jammed. That the streets that I know in East Main and Broad Street, my goodness, you cannot believe that it's jammed. We live in Reynoldsburg, so it's very interesting how the population is really growing. That it shows you how really the market is attracting the central post. There is a demand, the need and the demand balance. So the need of the market is really attracting a lot of employees to come. And we are one of the employers providing for Central Ohio. How many demand that we have? I mean, the market is really looking at jobs. Some, they have about 3,000 job openings. A lot of every day that they are knocking our door. We need a job, we need employment. So it shows you that Central Ohio becomes a hub, the business hub of in the United States, one of the big attraction places here in Central Ohio. So I think that was the reason why people are coming, with those different factors. There may be some other reasons, but that's my observation in the last 20 years.
You shared a lot of really interesting points there, and I'm curious, as City Year is a youth serving organization working with young people and young adults. And I know, Amanuel, you said you were a high school teacher at one point, and you're director of youth service program for ETSS. With everything that Dr. Seleshi was sharing about, how families, some of the reasons why folks are coming to Central Ohio because of jobs, social services, there's a lot of opportunity here, housing. What are some of the things that the young people are experiencing as their families are coming over? Are you finding young people are coming over with their families? Are they coming over separate by themselves, depending on their age? How does that process work?
Dr. Seleshi explained it very well, how immigrants and refugees, just to take back a little bit, we are the migrants and refugees coming through different roads, and some flee to other countries before they got here, live in refugee camps, in a kind of just, horrible situation where they don't have a lot of infrastructures, including health, school, for anything you need as a human being. And then they get a chance to come to this land of opportunity where life system is so complicated, and they are looking, they left behind. We as immigrants left everything behind and come to this country for safety at the beginning. And then we're looking for the place where we're comfortable, welcomed. And when we say welcome, the words look like as easy as that, but it has an entire package of welcoming. To start with, understanding why immigrants and refugees are in this place, first of all. And then what do they need? And what is their goal? What is their intention? So to understand them and to support them as a human being, to restart life they left alone. As a youth, most of the youth arrive in the United States with their families. And the family's main major goal as a parent is to bring their children to the safest environment, safest place where they can grow up to be what they want to be in the future. So then when they come to the country, even one thing I would like to mention is by resettlement agencies, they placed into different states. But we have the second migration from the state where even they were placed to Ohio, because they have, once they settle somewhere, they start gathering information and looking for the place where they're welcomed, where other immigrants, refugees can be for them have a good experience and successful as well in supporting their families and raising their children in a safe environment. That includes schools. So when we talk about schools, imagine from the biggest school district in Central Ohio, Columbus City School, and the surrounding school districts. And also when they go to college, we have community college here at the center, and we have other universities, small as well as big. And we have Ohio State, imagine, like where a lot of international students attend compared to other colleges in the country. So these are, as Dr. Seleshi said, adding to others the hub, like what we're looking for to improve ourselves and contribute to the development of this country besides supporting our children. So when I moved here, I didn't have children, but I was thinking where I do raise my kids, where I am looking for a safe place and a better school, and where I can support my children and as well as my entire family as well. And so Columbus is what we call it at home. It's more convenient compared to any other cities. That's why other immigrants and refugees are moving or migrating from other states to Central Ohio as well. And when we look at, saying supporting family beside jobs, what kind of job? Like, sometimes if it is not paying enough to support your family, you have to do 2 jobs. If you work in 2 jobs, imagine that is 16 hours itself, and it takes a whole time away from your family. And it's very difficult to raise children then. So compared to the big cities where people have to work many hours, stay away from their children, if 2 parents raising children, Columbus and Central Ohio are one of the best cities, I would say. And that is the opportunity that is most immigrants and refugees are looking forward to come to Central Ohio.
That's interesting. So can you talk a little bit more about, you talked about jobs and the workforce when folks come to Central Ohio. What type of programming do you have that you all facilitate in helping folks get those jobs, either getting the right training, certifications, education, or just searching? Do they come to you for that assistance? Or how do you help individuals that just arrived to Columbus and helping them connect with employment opportunities?
When refugees, immigrants, asylum cases, there are different routes that they came to Central Ohio or United States. Let me take the formal way that how we are serving refugee immigrants. Refugees came through the central government, through the United States State Department. There are 9 settlement agencies throughout the nation, which they will receive those refugees and then assign to their local affiliates, community-based organizations. So these are called local resettlement agencies. These local resettlement agencies welcome refugees at the airport, give them orientation, find them apartment, housing, enroll them to Franklin County Job and Family Services for benefit system. So the Franklin County Job and Family Services is a benefit agency. They have subcontractors under Job and Family Services, Franklin County. So once they enroll in the Franklin County system, they assign those refugees to refugee immigrant serving organizations like ETSS, Jewish Family Services, or CRIS, or us together. So we, as a service provider contracted through Job and Family Services, our role, task is for these people to teach English as second language, first class, first level, middle, and those higher levels. There are different grades. So you put on those 3 classes. So those who really speak English well, directly we put them into soft skills and job skills training. How to be on time, how to work as a team. There are the interview skills, resume building, all those necessary for the job market. Once they complete those trainings, they work with their job developer, and job developer match with the interest of jobs that they are looking for, so that they can assign. If they don't have really a skill, either JCPenney or the airport area or Amazon or the different distribution centers, warehouses. If they are professional, we try to connect with at least close related with their professions. So that's how our employment workforce development works. For those who are looking at skill-specific training, then through partners like the IT certification, either with Columbus State Community College or with Columbus School Education Center, like nurse aid and nurses and trainings, we refer them. Before, actually, we were providing the health STNA program when COIC was here, but we stopped that now. We through partners, either DeBry or any adult education centers that provide skill-specific training, we refer to them, and then they'll get certified within a year or 2 years, and then they'll get their job. There are some like engineers and others who came directly. We have a good partnership with like AAP and others, which we work with their human resource HR, and then through them, at least they will get their engineering level close to that kind of jobs. What is the hardest point is really those highly trained, skilled immigrants. It's really very hard to navigate the system. It's very hard for them to build that network, professional network. It's a constant struggle. Still we couldn't find a solution for those highly skilled individuals like doctors, pharmacists. They have to go from scratch again. School system, they have to be certified, they have to be licensed. It takes years and years. In the meantime, that family, they have to get a job, they have to have a bread on the table. So they are forced to work in unrelated works. They are underemployed, very, very traumatized because they lost their jobs, their skills. And that's really a constant struggle here in the United States or Central Ohio. Other than that, the entry-level jobs, like those refugee immigrant serving organizations, that's our main job, really, to find them a job. Then, because our programs are designed in such a way, family focus, to stabilize families. So every child of that family has been taken care of, like Amanuel department takes care of the children from 5 to 13 years old, from 14 to 15 years old, from 16 to 18 years old. We have so variety programs, which Amanuel will explain to you. Then we'll take care of them that way with the children. With the adults, we have the workforce development program. We have health, education and mental health and trauma informed care program. We have domestic violence programs. So all kind of, because it's a very holistic programs that we're running, any refugees came to our centers, they will get in one way or another service. If not, then we'll prefer to our partners. So that's how our workforce development is working, and other adult program services that we are. And we have majority of services within house, but if we need, then we will connect and work with our partners.
Okay, that's interesting how that all connects. I was wondering how that worked and how you provided those services. I did want to ask another question. So to give a personal example, a friend of mine I used to play basketball with, he was from Ethiopia. I can't remember which city he's from. I know he's from Ethiopia. And he came here when he was about 8 or 9 years old. And he went to Columbus City schools, and learning more about his background, he said it was more challenging for his parents as they were getting settled in Central Ohio, but it was a different experience for him as a young person going to the school he went to. He went to a Columbus City school, and he felt that it was easier for him to connect with what he said, connecting his culture with the American culture, understanding it a little bit easier than his mother and father could, and his older brothers and sisters. Do you find that folks that come from Ethiopia and who are immigrants who are, you know, under, you say asylum, or they're coming from
asylum refugee. Yeah.
Asylum refugees, yes, or they may be coming from a place that may not be as safe. And like you said, you want their children to be safe here. Are you finding it more challenging for the young people as they go into the school system, or for the parents as they navigate the other services around housing, workforce development? Because I'm thinking about the young people that we serve in some of the schools that are new Americans, or who may have been here for a little bit longer, right? And are still working to understand, you know, why do we do these things? It's so different from our country. And I'm still figuring out how to navigate these different systems and policies and culture differences. How do you all help the young folks and some of the families deal with those things, or work through them, I should say?
Amanuel, can go ahead.
Yeah, you know, this is exactly why we started the youth service at ETSS. And parents, the first thing they have it in their mind is putting, you know, food on the table as a priority to survive. And the kids have to go to school. What the school choose to do is, you know, looking at their age, whatever was said, and do a simple calculation and find them to the classroom of their age. So before I joined the ETSS, I volunteered at city schools, helping these youth. I saw and witnessed myself firsthand, sitting with them in a classroom. It's so overwhelming when they do not speak the language and know the culture. If they directly come from their country, like Ethiopia and other South Asian countries or South American countries, you cannot compare the school system with their school system with the American school system. Very simply, the school buildings are completely different. And the day-to-day activity from the time they enter the building to the time they leave the building is not the same at all. And it's so overwhelming, it's not comprehensive for them. And they have little language to communicate and get enough help. And at the time we started this program, there was no much help in the school. They're by themselves to navigate it. And going to restroom or line up in the cafeteria or going to the library is, you cannot imagine. It's what American-born kids take for granted, but not for the newcomers. So our program is bridging this service gap, relieving parents, at least give them a hope. When I started as volunteers, I'm telling you, teachers trying to communicate with parents the same way they're communicating with American-born kids' parents. And imagine they're sending post-its. This is back in 2006, 2007, sending notes with the children. And at one point, my church member, who was a single mom with 4 kids, and she showed me one of her children's takes the exercise book. And this noted was, post notes were piled up. And now the assumption of the teacher of that child is the parent didn't want to respond. But this parent is hopeless. She doesn't know what to do. And even to know that the teacher was looking for the parent's attention as well. And so during the after school program, what we do is our major focus, or this is the year round, overall our youth department is had the goal of holistic approach to provide academic support, social emotional learning, and health and wellness, cultural enrichment, and professional development to all school ages. Through the program we are developed over the year. The first one is the early child education. We need to educate the parents. why do a child need an early child education even before they enrolled into school? Where I grew up, kids wait until the age 7 before they go to school. And everything is started at school. But here is completely different. And most immigrants and refugee kids, when they enter the pre-K, they don't have the skill of the American-born kids have. They don't know how to hold a crayon. They don't know how to use the scissors, those simple things. And that is where it starts falling behind. And then when they enter the kindergarten, they use a nickname. They don't know their nickname, their real name, like as they're culturally called at home. Or they don't know their parents' name. They call it Papa, Mama, or others' nickname. They don't pronounce their address or even memorize the phone number, what the kindergartens had to do. And it goes like that as a ripple effect. They're always behind their peer group. And imagine when they're coming at a school age, that is now completely different. So they read below the level of the grade they are assigned in, because when they assign them, the school is not looking at their skill. They're looking at what age they're graduating. So these kids are placed in a level where they're not performing as their peer groups at all. So that is where our program steps in. What we do is we provide a year-round program, starting from our early school age. And as they enter kindergarten, we have after-school program for the school year. And then during the summer, the summer program. Our main focus is what I've listed earlier. We focus on academic achievement. We do our own assessment. We have a standard assessment, which is equivalent to the assessment the schools are doing. Based on that, we look at the level at which these students are performing compared to their peer groups or grades, and provide as much support as possible to let them catch up with their peer groups. And during the summer, we make sure there is no summer learning fallback or summer skill slide. And we provided, for even American-born kids during the summer, they're away from the school. It's very common to have summer skill loss. And when it comes to migrants and refugees, they don't have the culture of going to the library and borrow the book. Probably they're not the member, and how many books they read, who's going to follow up? And to prevent that summer loss, we designed a specific curriculum targeting the ELL students. And not only on their academic, as I said, we also work on their social emotional learning. We have a great partner to support that. The P4S, a partnership for success group, have been partners since the beginning, since they were future ready Columbus with us. They provide us a lot of supports. We're using their curriculum and do DESA assessments and provides all social emotional skills the students need. And as the students remain in school, they're fast learners, and they adapt to American culture, learn the language. Even within 2-3 years, they don't know if they were born somewhere else or still speaking. And that also has its own negative things. They pull themselves away from their parents, forgetting about their cultures, where the parents want them to know their cultures, still speak their language. So these kids are like somebody living in 2 different countries on the same day. When they're in school during the day, they want to behave and act like any American kids. When they come home after the school, they want to be like the parents want to be like, living according to their culture. So we're kind of like in between, mediating them, teaching them to be very proud of who they are with their culture when they're learning the new culture as well. So that they have their own self-identity. And we call it third identity here in our program because these kids we're serving have very strong friendship and relationship with each other because of the third identity. They're working together despite of their background, which part of the world that they're coming from. They have this common kind of what we call a third identity. And
no, I was going to say that was a good point you made, because my friend of mine, he would have those challenges with his parents and his grandparents, and he would have all of his American friends, and he would bring that part of the culture home. And they're like, no, this is what we do here in this house that you can't. And he was like, no, I like listening to this type of music now. I like these types of clothes. I like these types of movies. And they're like, no, when you're in our home, you speak our language and you eat our cuisine and these things that we're used to, and you're just going to the school to get the education. You're not an American. He's like, well, no, I disagree. So there was a lot of friction. It even happened when he did go off and went to Ohio State University, and he would have still those challenges with this. I think they were able to, make that work. But I remember him telling me those stories. So that's very, very interesting. Yeah.
That's very true. And the other thing we're doing during our out of school time program, both after school and the summer camp, is empowering the parents. Parents were very, very helpless, and the school environment is very intimidating for them. And it's not welcoming until I would say recently, where we started partnership with Columbus City School and other school districts providing parents engagement program. And what we started in our after school program is to make our parents be more comfortable to attend school events, and as well as parents teacher conference. We created parents advisory committee in each school sites. Currently, we're operating at 13 sites in Central Ohio. And this committee brings the parents together and educate them through the bilingual assistance in their native language, and practice how to support their children. And we started what we call it Parents Tutor Conference, simulating Parents Teachers Conference, sitting down with the tutors of their students and talk about their children's academic achievement. We get school report from them or get it from the school and explain it to them how they can support. And we designed our after school program as the 3-day program based on that. When they're coming one day to our program, we want them to do the same thing at home with the help of their parents. And the 3rd day we come to our program and we check what they have done at home, and then it continues like that. We don't want these students to stay in our program forever. And so most of the students graduated from our program and liberate themselves as an independent and can do well with the support of the parents in about 3 or 4 years. And that is the program we developed. And empowering parents are very, very critical with that. And most parents are now comfortable to go to school and meet with the teachers and attend school activities, including parents teacher conference. Those parents come back and tell their own story to the new parents. I've been in your position several years ago. You can do it. And it'll be better when you get involved, kind of. And this is for school age, kindergarten through 12th grade. And also during the summer, we engage our older kids as well. Through our Hersey transition program, we engage age 14 and 15, where we transition, we provide a lot of support transitioning from middle school to high school. This is the kind of service gap in, I would say, supporting our youth out of school. And we recently, we're about in the 2-year program now, and we have seen a lot of results. And when we're serving 13 and at any age lower than 13. And again, through other programs serving 16 and above. And 14 and 15 years old youth were left behind. And so this, what we call it, a healthy transition hub. That for the older kids, we have the AMP program funded through the county, Achieve More and Prosper. This is the year-round program where we provide a mentorship and also a lot of supportive services wherever they're struggling, including providing supplies, providing tutors, providing a lot of workshops where they gain skill. And also we provide them soft skill trainings where we want them to be assigned in an internship program to test themselves. What is the area, what they want to be in the future, what kind of professions they want to pursue before they go to college. Most of like the high schoolers, they enter college before they make a decision. And sometimes even at the second year or third year, they do not identify their majors. So they're wasting their time, they're wasting their resources and start, oh, this is not mine. So this program, what we call it, AMP programs through the internship, summer work experience, help them to identify the area of interest they will like to work on to be self-sustained and professional in their adulthood.
That's a lot of really good information you all are sharing.
Yeah.
All the cultural pieces and all the activities and resources that you're sharing, it's incredible for all the folks that are coming in at so many different times of the year. You're a year-round program. We have about maybe 5 to 7 minutes left, but I want to give Dr. Seleshi and Amanuel an opportunity to share some other things about your work and working with young people, families, how you're connecting folks coming in to our community. What are some other things that folks will want to know about how, even the partnerships, how can folks get involved in working with a group like ETSS?
Yeah, thank you, Adero. Really, this is a good opportunity to share. ETSS has a lot of good opportunities that any family and any children can benefit. As you see, our program crafted from early pregnancy to teenage pregnancy up to Celebrate One. We're part of Celebrate One, where we celebrate the child's 1 year, because the infant mortality is high here in Central Ohio. So we start early education for pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, even far. Now we are developing a project for teenage sex education, HIV prevention and others in a kind of a game environment. We got a funding from Columbus Foundation, and we are working with Ohio University. The university professors are helping us designing that kind of a game education for sex education, which is really very interesting, attractive to teenagers. So from all that, the way that, as Amanuel explained, the early childhood education, then the 5 to 13, then 14, 16, 17, the health transition for teenagers, and then we have high school, and then AMP program, and then you go to adult. We don't have the senior program, but all the life cycle that people that they need tools to fight poverty and ignorance, we have it. One program that I would like to mention, there is a program called RIDA, Asset Building Program, Refugee Asset Building Program. If you save up to $4,000, the program matches that $4,000. So at the end of the program, they will come up with 8,000, and that 8,000 will have a purpose. So they plan either they want to purchase a car or a down payment for their housing or for education certification program, or they start a business. So that program is becoming really gaining momentum. We got funded from the National Office of Refugee Settlements through CDC, and we're trying to build that micro enterprise and micro loan program. But right now we have this, financial empowerment program, which is cool for many. They love it really. Number one, we teach them how to save money. Number two, it's really a good experience to invest from the very beginning of their resettlement here, so that, you know, they will have to become all home ownership, they become, you know, all the things, basic things that they need for life. So it's really the lovely programs that we have. And other than that, you know, anything, the other thing is now, before we are targeting only new Americans, refugee migrants, now we are serving other low-income individuals who have been here for the long-term Americans or long-time residents of America. Mm-hmm. So the Ohio County program, we become the Region 7 providers. So this is a kinship program. It's really very interesting and helping a lot of families. It's not income oriented. You know, we don't need any income as a qualification. Anyone who has someone in their family, children, they will be supported. So that's another new development that helping any low income, or even not based on income, that we are helping. So I think those are the programs that really, and this family engagement and bilingual engagement with Columbus School Districts and Pickerington that we started, it helps a lot of families and children. That program is really growing. The Columbus schools is very happy, and Pickerington now we have a contract with them. So it's going to expand to Whitehall and Reynoldsburg. So it's very good programs that we are building. Any refugee migrant families that, you know, is there in Columbus City School or Pickerington, there is bilingual, so speaks the language, who understand the culture, that can help that family and children. So, but other than that, I think ETSS is now, you know, we have over 200 employees, about 14 locations, Central Ohio. So it becomes one of the largest, you know, and also the new program, that the resettlement program that we started, are very, very excited. We are now bringing Afghans, about 75, to Columbus region, and we are going to continue with Ukraine, and hopefully that will be an official or permanent settlement agency in Central Ohio. So we are very excited about that new, and it completes our refugee migrant program. Before, we're relying on resettlement agencies. Now we become the resettlement agency. Already the infrastructure is built in to welcome all the refugee migrants, whether they are professional, skilled, and unskilled. I think, you know, that brings a very joyful thing for our community and for our organization. So very much, you know, in that way we can partner. We have about 79 partners. We really want to continue. We believe in collaboration and partnership. Mm-hmm. That's what ETSS way is, really by working together. So
that's amazing. I mean, I knew you all did a lot of really good stuff. But what I'm hearing today, it's like, it just kind of blew my mind out of the water of all the things that you all are doing when folks arrive. And then the continuation of services from when they're very young until house, you know, all these other different opportunities. Mm-hmm. So it looks like we're at our time, and I want to make sure that that our folks listening know how to be able to access this particular conversation. So this will be streamed on Facebook. We'll have it on YouTube, Spotify, Buzzsprout. And when we do post this, probably within a week or so, we'll make sure to tag ETSS. Well, I'll let you know exactly when it's going to be posted. And then you can shoot it out to whoever you like to know more about your services and get more of an in-depth idea of how you're working with young people, families, new Americans coming into the community, and what the challenges are, and then how you're helping them navigate all those different pieces of this new experience. So I really appreciate your time today. I know we're gonna get an opportunity to partner. Maybe you can come in and talk to some of our AmeriCorps members, because I know there's some intersections there with our AmeriCorps members working in schools like Mifflin and Linden and South High School, where they would encounter some students that are new immigrants coming into Central Ohio. So, but as we're training our new AmeriCorps members for the next year, maybe there's an opportunity for you or Amanuel, Dr. Seleshi, or for you, Amanuel, to come in and maybe talk and share more about these resources. Some of them, you know, some people just don't know, or they're just learning about what's available.
Yeah. That's right.
So I would love to be able to, you know, think about partnering that way in the near future because I learned a lot. I learned some stuff today.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Right. But yeah, so at the time, and I want to thank you, Amanuel and Dr. Seleshi, for your time. Once again, to all of those listening to the Red Jacket Roundtable, this will be posted to our Facebook page, LinkedIn, Spotify, and YouTube. So come check it out. This next coming out soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.